Wow, oh wow, does this BMW X7 have a serious amount of presence. This is the new facelifted one. A good tell for this is the split front lights like you see on the i7. And in today's review, we're going to be checking it out, talking about all the different engines, the tech inside, what it's like to drive, and just about every little thing you need to know. Now, why would you buy a BMW X7? Well, maybe you want some German reliability, and normally I'd say a BMW X5. However, what if you just want to go a little bit bigger, a little bit more prestigious? Then there's this, the X7, and of course it comes with 7 seats, so very handy for a wealthy family. Now, the other thing is, it kind of competes against the Range Rover in terms of size and road presence. However, this is probably a lot more reliable. And that's not a blow at Land Rover. I actually love the Range Rover, but it is German. It does have a 3-litre diesel BMW engine, which should be bulletproof. Now, prices for this, they start about 155,000. I think BMW have missed a trick there, which we'll talk about later in the review. And if we compare that to a Range Rover, that's about 138,000 euros, so a little bit more expensive. And then you get into this one, which is 176 grand. Very expensive, but it does come with an array of optional extras. So let's discuss some of those right now. To begin with, it's got the Comfort Plus pack. This costs 7,620 euros. For this, you get massage and ventilated seats, some rear blinds, amongst a few other options. After that, it's got the M Sport Pro pack, which I think actually looks brilliant. This costs 5,324 euro. This gives you some 22-inch alloy wheels, some tinted windows, or as BMW like to call it, the sun protection glass. Lastly, it has the Sky Lounge sunroof, which changes colours. That is 3.5 grand. It also has a 2,300 euro tow bar, amongst a few other options. So engines, and this is kind of where I think BMW have missed a trick here in Ireland. So as you can see, there's plenty of space for a bigger engine. This is the 3-litre 6-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. It's got about 350 horsepower. And personally, I think this engine is brilliant to drive. However, you pay a tax for that in Ireland because it does up your VRT rate and it just makes it a little bit more expensive. We'll talk about that later. Then there is also a 3-litre 6-cylinder petrol engine, which is about 380 horsepower. And then there's the big mama, the 4.4-litre twin turbocharged petrol engine with over 500 horsepower. That thing's a weapon. They also actually sell that engine to Land Rover, which they put in their high-end petrol one. So it's a brilliant, brilliant engine. Now, the reason I think they've missed the mark here is plug-in hybrids and electric cars are way cheaper to bring into Ireland. And the reason for that is our VRT and our taxation system to really try and increase and encourage people to be driving low emissions. And that's why Range Rover and Land Rovers are actually a little bit cheaper than this. Believe it or not, the price difference between a PHEV, a plug-in hybrid Range Rover, and a diesel is about 40,000 euros. You're paying 40,000 euros just to have a diesel version. And that's why I think BMW should have put a plug-in hybrid into this. We know they have it, it works excellently in their X5. And personally, I would have maybe put it in the X7 too. Now this is where the X7 really becomes kind of useful. So as you can see, electronic tailgate, and actually it's the split tailgate, which is really, really handy. Now there is this low cover, which personally I think I'd leave this at home because it kind of just gets in the way. Now, as the boot stands like this, there's about 300 litres, which is loads. But if you decide to fold down these seats, which they're not exactly rapid, we have to be a little bit patient, all of a sudden we have over 700 litres of boot space. And actually, you can fold the front ones too, and then the boot space increases almost identically to a transit van. It is massive like this. You could move home like this very, very easily. And just as a whole, it's a lovely boot. As we saw earlier, you can put up a tow bar there, you can sit here at the kids' football game or whatever it is. And then even the little things, you don't have to do this first. You just press this button and watch how just swish that is. Really, really impressive. Now let's check out what those seats are actually like. So to begin with, let's check out the back. And as you expect, it's really comfortable. The seats are fully electronically adjustable. You can put them probably in a better position than the front seat in many many other cars on the market. As we know, we've got blinds there. There is climate control back here with heated seats as well, which is just really, really nice. There's isofix points as well, and actually there's some isofix points back there. So I think in total you've got 4 different isofix points. Obviously being an X7, tons of headroom, even for someone of my height, which is quite impressive. I think now we'll check out the back seats because I'm actually more intrigued to see what they're like. So you just pull this button here. Now this isn't the world's quickest system. You're going to need some very patient children. However, it's actually a pretty generous entry once it does eventually go forward. And then once you're back here, it's actually more spacious than I actually expected. Isofix points, you've got climate control, so triple zone climate control drink holders, and actually it's pretty comfortable. The seat quality back here is still really, really good. The cockpit in here, it is absolutely sublime. Everything you touch and feel is the most premium of quality, and it is a gorgeous place to sit. The seat seems to adjust in about 150 different ways, everything down to the lumbar support. It's split to the back. It is so, so comfortable. And just the fit and finish of all this, the curved screens, we've seen it in the BMW iX. I'm actually going to advise watching that review if you want to learn a little bit more about this, because I could probably do a 15-minute video on the infotainment system in itself. It's so high tech, but it works really, really well. It's maybe, as I step into this, a little bit overcomplicated, but I can imagine when you live with it, it becomes something you become very used to and you know how to use it exactly. And actually, most importantly, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, it connects up wirelessly. Yesterday it took me about 3 minutes to connect it up, and that was it forever. And now when I get in the car, within 30 seconds or less actually, it's fully connected up. You've got a heads-up display here, which just kind of tells you your speed limit and your cruise control and what speed you're traveling. Again, it just means you don't have to take your eyes off the road, which is great. And actually going into those driving aids, when it comes to parking, the camera system is amazing. It will remember the way you've driven into a parking spot, so that it will reverse you out automatically. It's all these little touches that just make it so, so nice to drive. Now, the power itself, this is the 3-litre diesel. It's a mild hybrid. You don't really notice it. Mild hybrid is a glamorized stop-start in my opinion. But when you do drive it, it's pretty quick. I kind of miss a diesel. I haven't driven a torquey diesel in what feels like forever. Everything now is plug-in hybrid or fully electric, and actually this is a little bit of a refreshing reminder of how good diesel is. The way it handles is really good. Actually, the tyres are really well suited to it. One thing I find driving Range Rover Sport, is it struggles for traction, and maybe that's because it's a little bit heavier in the plug-in hybrid battery, but this, when you accelerate, obviously it puts the power down brilliantly. When you brake, there's no traction having to get involved. It's just very, very well suited. It does kind of lean into the corners a little bit. I've driven the X7 M60i. Obviously that's a monster to drive in a straight line, but it has, I think, some adaptive anti-roll bar systems, and they keep it a little bit more solid around the corner. Some people taking some pictures of some sheep here, so we'll go around them. But yeah, the power is really good, and when you do get on a motorway, it should be relatively being the key word, economical. Definitely probably shouldn't use the word economical with an X7, but this is definitely the most economical X7. So there you have it. That is the review of the new X7. Now, there's lots of pros and lots of cons. Some of the cons to me, I think, is it's just a little bit too big, especially if you live in one of the major cities in Ireland. On top of that, I think it could really benefit from a plug-in hybrid engine, and I hope I'm wrong and I hope it's coming, or maybe there is a way to order it, but on the website I can't seem to see it. But the pros are, it's vastly better bang for buck than a Range Rover. You get 7 seats as standard, and of course, the biggest one is, the most I was able to spec this to, including a 4.4 litre V8 twin turbo engine, was about 220,000 euros, which I know sounds a lot, but in Range Rover world, I was able to get one to 402,000 euros. So That makes it really exceptional, and I've enjoyed every moment behind the wheel. It's so comfortable, it's so luxurious, and it's so phenomenally well built. Now, if you did enjoy this review, then please take the time to subscribe and of course give us some feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like. And if you would like to search for BMWs for sale in Ireland, we've got over 1,000 trusted dealerships all around the country. You can hit the link up there. But for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching the Done Deal YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next one.